My wife became very sick. She was sick pregnant. She couldn't walk. There was no life in her. If she was awake, she was nauseous. She held down almost nothing. The doctors came on a Wednesday afternoon, and these were doctors from the firm that was supplying the intravenous to us. And they said that up till now, the baby's been doing okay at your expense, but even now it's starting to become dangerous for the baby. So we have scheduled you for surgery tomorrow at 2:30 in the afternoon, and we're going to implant semi-permanent feed tubes into you and drip total parenteral nutrition into your veins, bypassing your stomach, and hopefully that will nourish you and the baby and you'll be fine. And they said if that doesn't work, then they said you're going to need an abortion because you're not going to make it through this pregnancy. So that was pretty heavy. I told her, okay, let's just expect surgery tomorrow at 2:30. I called our rabbi, who was not there, and I spoke to his wife, Rebe Boaz, and she hammered at me. Now again, I was not a Lubavitcher. She said, you must call the Rebbe. Absolutely, you're going to call the Rebbe. Promise me you're going to call the Rebbe. Okay, I promise. I'll call the Rebbe. I figured that it was too late to call that night, so I started calling at 6 in the morning, never getting through. And finally, I spoke with Rabbi Label Groner and told him exactly what was going on, how serious my wife's condition was. And he said, and that she was scheduled for surgery at 2:30 in the afternoon, our time, and this is 10:30 in the morning, so it's just 4 hours before her scheduled surgery. He said he would go to the Rebbe immediately to ask him for bracha, and that was the end of the conversation. At that time in our lives, it was going home, finding my wife in such pain and suffering. It wasn't much fun, so I called at 10 minutes to 12. And this female voice answers the phone, hello, like normal, and I was in shock. And I knew it was Hannah, but I couldn't believe it was her. So I said, Hannah, is that you? She said, yes. And I said, you're better. And she said, yeah, it's amazing. I got up and I went to the kitchen and I made Carnation instant breakfast and I held it down. I said, I'm coming home right away. I was astonished. This woman who had no life, no will to live, couldn't move. That night, she and I went out shopping together as if nothing had ever happened in between. It was just stunning. So before that, we called up the doctors and said, I think we're going to cancel the surgery. She's all of a sudden fine. And they said, okay, but they seemed astonished themselves. The next day, we got a call from Rabbi Groner, who told us that the Rebbe had a message for us, and that is that it's Elul and the king is in the fields. The king was really in the fields, and our son was born on Kaf Daled Adar, 1987.